Have you wondered how to make healthy family options for your family as well as for those diabetic members of your family? I'm Linda Suchon, Purdue Extension educator, and today I'd like to highlight Turkey Chili Joe, which is one of the main dish recipes that we demonstrate in the Dining with Diabetes Extension program with Purdue University. I'd like to highlight the ingredients that we're utilizing today, which is 1 pound of ground turkey breast, 1 cup of chopped onion, 1 cup of chopped green pepper. We have 1 cup of no salt added tomato sauce, as well as 1/2 cup of ketchup, 2 teaspoons of canola oil, 2 teaspoons of red wine vinegar, 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper for flavoring, and then we also have some red pepper flakes, around 1 teaspoon of red pepper flakes. And to help highlight the flavors, we have added 1 teaspoon of sugar. And some people may wonder, well, sugar, should that be added to a diabetic recipe? It can in the quantities that we're doing today, usually 1 teaspoon per 4-serving portion. So we're going to get started here today, and we're going to heat our oil. We're using a nonstick skillet, and this allows us to use less of an oil product, so therefore reducing the fat grams and the total calories. To this, we're going to add our green pepper, as well as our chopped onion. And again, you can use the variety of onion that you have on hand. So we'll turn our heat up a little bit more here so we can get this going. We want to saute this until it is translucent, almost see-through to some extent. And then we are going to add our turkey to this. And in the recipe, our green pepper adds a tremendous amount of vitamin C. So that's excellent for the diet and an excellent way to get it in, as well as through our citrus that we might have in our diets. Okay, now we're ready to add our fresh ground turkey breast. And when you're selecting and purchasing your turkey at the grocery, you want to be sure that you do look at the nutrition facts label, because it's very important to look at the actual number of grams of fat per serving, and it's usually based on a 3 to 4 ounce serving. And because you can tell a lot from that as to what they've actually put and ground into that turkey. And oftentimes if you just simply buy and it says ground turkey, you probably are actually getting dark meat, which is higher in fat content, as well as you may also be getting ground skin. And most of us realize that with poultry, the fat's right beneath the skin. So very important to, if you're really trying to lower fat grams and lower calories in the total dish, you want to go with the ground turkey breast. So we're going to brown this until we have all the pink out of the meat, and then we'll be ready to add our additional ingredients to our recipe. Now that we have our turkey breast cooked until the pink is out of it, and we're going to have a final cooking temp of 165 degrees Fahrenheit, we're ready to add some of our sauces to this and our seasonings. And as I refer back to the turkey breast, a 3-ounce portion of turkey breast, which is approximately the size of a female palm, is 131 calories per 3 ounces and only 2.5 grams of fat. So a very lean choice of protein to add to your diet. So now we're ready to add our no salt added tomato sauce, and this we're trying to keep down the sodium, because actually for most diabetics it's not just an issue of sugar, but also we've got to watch our fats as well as our sodium in our preparation of our dishes. We're also going to add 1/2 cup of ketchup. And that will add a lot of flavors as well, because it already has some additional seasonings in there. And we're adding 2 teaspoons of red wine vinegar. And again, if you didn't have the red wine, you could opt out with that and go with another type of vinegar. 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of sugar to enhance flavors, and last but not least, 1 teaspoon, and be sure it's a level teaspoon, of red pepper flakes. And if your family is not keen on having really warm things, then opt for a lesser amount of that ingredient. So we're going to combine everything here well, and then we're going to allow this to simmer for about 15 minutes. And then you have your dish completed. And as we mentioned earlier, we want that to have a final cooking temp of 165 degrees because we're using a ground turkey product. Sometimes when people, as you can see, that the lumps in the processing of cooking the turkey are maybe a little larger than your family might prefer, simply put it into a food processor and do 2 to 3 pulses on the food processor to get a finer consistency to that might be more similar to a ground beef product. So we're coating this so we have all the flavor, enhancing all the different pieces of turkey. And then we're going to allow that to simmer. Simmering means that it's just barely bubbling around the edges of the dish. Now, as you find, if you find, because many of us may be cooking directly on top of a stovetop unit, you may find that some of your juices evaporate. So I always keep a small cup of water handy to add additional water to this if you find you need it to get the consistency that you would like. You could also add additional tomato sauce to it, but again, try to go with your no salt added to keep the sodium content down in the recipe. This is a recipe that has lots of versatility, and we've today utilized it as a Sloppy Joe product, and we've added to complete our meal a tossed salad and then a serving of fruit. It can also be used actually as a chili. We've just sprinkled a little low-fat cheese on the top with some low-fat crackers and whatever your favorite vegetable is. We've today used celery and carrot sticks. And then last but not least, you can use it as a quesadilla or a taco. And so we've utilized today as a quesadilla and simply added a little bit of toppings of lettuce, chopped tomato, and low-fat cheese. So you can see great versatility with Turkey Chili Joe. So the next time you're looking to adapt your recipes and make them healthier, or you have that special diabetic in mind and want to make their dishes a little healthier for them, give us a call at 1-888-EXT-INFO, and that will bring you to Purdue University, and then simply ask for your local extension office. The Dining with Diabetes program is a program that is taught throughout the state of Indiana, and it helps us to learn better control of our blood sugar, as well as techniques in lowering not only the fat and the sodium, but also the sugar within our recipes. And we utilize it through a 5-part series where we go into main dishes such as we've done today, as well as snacks, side dishes, and desserts. So again, give us a call at 1-888-EXTENSION-INFO.